This is our sharp pull. This is our Amritsar massacre. A moment of truth and a moment of shame. These are the words of Ivan Cooper, a member of the Parliament of Northern Ireland, to press on January 30th, 1972, equating the disastrous events that had transpired earlier that day to similarly terrible occurrences. According to many, the day known as Bloody Sunday was one of the most significant events during the period known as the Troubles of Northern Ireland, as it saw the shooting of 26 unarmed civilians by unprovoked British soldiers in the city of Derry. The significance of this day can be understood through an examination of the circumstances leading up to, the events of, and the effects incited by it. There are numerous things seen as being responsible for the conditions that brought the events of Bloody Sunday to pass. Beginning in the late 1960s, the Troubles begot discrimination against the Catholic minority of Northern Ireland in civil matters like voting rights and boundaries and the allocation of public housing, leading to the formation of nonviolent civil rights groups such as the Northern Ireland Civil Rights Association, or NICRA. Protests organized by these groups spurred attacks by Protestant loyalists and the Royal Ulster Constabulary, or RUC, the Northern Irish police force, bringing about rioting and more violence. Residents of Derry's Bogside district constructed barricades to prevent RUC incursion, causing the Northern Ireland government to request the deployment of the British Army. The British military presence created more tension and more violence as the activity of the Provisional Irish Republican Army, or IRA, increased, leading to the death of 37 British soldiers in 1971, according to Jennifer Beckett. On August 9, 1971, internment without trial was established throughout Northern Ireland, and all marches, parades, and other nationalist gatherings were banned. The importance of Bloody Sunday can also be seen through the actual events that took place on that day. The NICRA had organized a non-violent march of roughly 15,000 citizens in Derry, despite the ban the British authorities had imposed. British soldiers were positioned in the city in order to discourage the demonstration. The march was diverted from its original course by the military, but as the main body moved towards a new destination, a small element consisting mainly of young men continued towards the original destination. Once they reached the blockade, they began rioting, although it has been described as not being as intense as previous confrontations. At this point, the military attempted to disperse the rioters with a water cannon, tear gas, and rubber bullets. Shortly after, reports of an IRA sniper were allegedly sent to the British Military Command Center, and the 1st Battalion of the Paratroop Division was given the order to open fire. In the confusion that followed, 26 people were shot and 2 were run over by British military vehicles. 5 of the wounded were shot in the back, and of the victims, 13 males, 7 of which were teenagers, died immediately or soon after, says Douglas Murray. The impact of this day is further displayed through its outcome. One direct result was the perpetuation of violence in Northern Ireland. Although the Provisional IRA's campaign against the partition of Ireland officially began in the 2 years prior to Bloody Sunday, public perceptions of the day's events enhanced the prominence of and recruitment into the organization immensely. The IRA, now fueled by even greater nationalist resentment, continued to fight the British until 1998. The Troubles claimed what is approximated to be a total of 3,526 lives, as stated by Julian Campbell. 2 separate investigations into Bloody Sunday were conducted by the British government. The Widgery Tribunal, launched immediately following the events, essentially cleared the British soldiers and authorities of all blame, stating that the shooting was merely bordering on the reckless. In 1998, the investigation was reopened by the Savile Inquiry, the published report of which, in 2010, called the deaths both unjustified and unjustifiable, and included a formal apology made by the British Prime Minister David Cameron on behalf of the United Kingdom. Bloody Sunday is not a day that will be easily forgotten. Its implication is readily perceived through not only the events that transpired that day, but the situations that led to them and the consequences of them. A quote from the film about the day: "To British journalists, go home to your people, to your government, and tell them what was done in their name on the streets of Derry today. Though this is not the first time an injustice of this magnitude has been committed, the world would be a better place if it were the last." Thank you.